I would never be caught dead inside of a minivan. What up, good folks? Welcome back to another episode of Review My Life. It's your boy Joel, your entrepreneurial traveling stay-at-home dad, and today we're gonna review 4 reasons why you should get a minivan. Let's get into it. Now, you may have heard it said, or maybe you said it yourself, I would never be caught dead in a minivan. And I get it. Minivans aren't cool. It has that whole soccer mom persona. And then SUVs are cool. And you could always get a 3-row crossovers, but is that the best option for you? Today, I'm gonna give you 4 reasons why a minivan will be the best choice for you. For the first reason is... oh crap, that was the wrong door. Is sliding doors. Now, sliding doors come with a plethora of benefits. One, just having this huge opening right here, which is really handy for getting both people and stuff in. As you can see, I could jump right in, jump right out. And you're saying, oh, that's not a practical example. Another practical example is if you have a car seat in here, which I actually do. It's not in here right now, obviously, because you don't see it. But when it is in there and I have an unruly child that's trying to get in, it's way easier to have this wide, big opening than having to mess with a door, especially when you're in parking lots, to just put the child in and get everything you need buckled in, and also getting her or him out as well. Yeah, so having that big opening is good for getting both people and things out. Another benefit that is just kind of built into how this mechanism works is that you, as you saw in that little demo I did, you could have it motorized. And that's the other door on the other side. So that's not something you can't get on regular doors that you just open unless you get into like a super luxury vehicle, and those are like super expensive. But yeah, you have the benefit of having these doors motorized. Another benefit to having it both a sliding mechanism and it motorized is, you know how in a lot of new vehicles you could kick with your feet to get the trunk to open? Well, you could do the same thing with this door. Watch, just kick with my feet, with the key in my pocket. Voila, look ma, no hands. And the final benefit of having the sliding door is the ease of getting in and out the 3rd row. One of the big pain points for 3-row crossovers is just the accessibility of the 3rd row. But this big sliding door means that you have way more room to just prop the seat open like this and just hop on in here. Easy as that. Easy as that. Also, you could also go through the middle, and I could show you that real quick. And easy as that. And I'm a small guy by any means. I'm 6 feet, 250 plus pounds, give or take. And so it's a lot easier to get in here than to get in a 3-row crossover. And by the way, before we got this van, we were actually cross-shopping with 3-row crossovers. And I could tell you from my own personal experience, it's a lot easier to get in here than it was to get into any of those 3-row crossovers that we tested. And we tested quite a few. The other benefit to having a minivan over a 3-row crossover is, as you could see, visibility. This vehicle is just like surrounded like by glass. You could almost call it a greenhouse. And especially compared to modern like SUVs, they're getting more swoopy and stylized to make them like look more cool or make them look more better. And while they do, it actually compromises on the visibility. Fun fact, I actually took my driver's license in a minivan and passed on my first try. For those of you who are unaware, different states have different regulations for acquiring your license. And I happened to take mine in the DMV area, and we were required to do perpendicular and parallel parking. This was before the mass adoption of backup cameras, or the mandate of having backup cameras. So we had to do it without any camera assistance. And I passed on my first try, and that was mostly because of the visibility of the minivan. Just having, and it's not just for backing up but just on the highway, your blind spots are bigger, and you just have more overall visibility on all sides of the vehicle, which is a big safety thing, especially if you're traveling with full of your friends and loved ones. Another benefit to having, I guess I would say the main benefit of having a minivan over a 3-row crossover, especially if you have a big family, is space. Now, a minivan, usually with even the full-size 3-row crossovers, you kind of have to play this compromise game of either I could carry stuff or I could carry people, but you can't really carry both. With a minivan, you kind of have the best of both worlds, because you could carry a lot of things, a lot of stuff, and all their things. Let me just demonstrate real quick by this in this trunk space. As you can see, this goes down pretty deep, about to like right here of my hand. And it's not just this area down here where you could pack stuff up. You could go straight up to the ceiling right here. So you have all this vertical space. It might not seem a lot of space lengthwise, but because you have that floor to ceiling height, you could pack a lot of stuff around here. In fact, let me show you my stroller. And so this is actually a double stroller, so this fits both of my kids. So this stroller is actually on the bigger side. You just put it back in here, and it just, as you could see, I don't know if you could see, but it just swallows it up, and you have that whole other side. Plus you put that stuff here and on the side. And also, this little trick. So if you go ahead and fold this down, you could see that you have like, you still have space there. You could stack up space all the way to the ceiling there, and then you could still fit 2 people in that seat right there, which is a total of 6 people. And if you got a version that had the bench seats in the middle, you could still seat 7 people and pack a buttload of stuff. So nothing compares to carrying lots of people and lots of things to a minivan. Not to mention all this that you could fold down all these seats, and those 2 front ones fold down as well. So if you have to do like a major Costco run, you could just fill it up, or even if you're just moving, you could just fill this up. You could probably put a queen size mattress in here, bunch of boxes, and it's a good, like if you're moving across town, this van could definitely do it without you needing to rent a U-Haul. You might have to make 1 or 2 trips, but you'll be surprised how much stuff, when all these seats are folded flat, could fit in here. So this final section is just for any other, I guess, a catch-all section for any other miscellaneous stuff that are reserved for things that you typically see in minivans that you don't see in like crossovers or any other vehicle category. So one of the things, or the first things I want to show you as I'm in the car is, but yeah, you usually just have more center console storage in here. As you can see, that goes like pretty much all the way to the floor. You could put a big bag in there and just, you know, stack that up. So you just have more storage typically you see in the front. Another thing I just wanted to show you is you typically see this on modern minivans, that you're starting to see them in some 3-row crossovers, but it's more luxury vehicles, and I totally love this feature. But most of the major minivan companies, their new models, they all have this option. No, not that. Go back. And it's this fam cam. It looks really. Is that for you? It looks grainy right now because it's like nighttime. But pretty much you could see all the different seats in your car, and then it gives you this big one. So if I touch on this seat, it goes to that specific seat. If I touch on that seat, it goes to that specific seat. If you go to the back, it goes to the back seat. And then so you kind of like, okay, it switched to night mode. I don't know why it took so long to switch to night mode. So yeah, you can even see this at like dark. You see that graininess has gone away. But yeah, that's really cool, especially when you have little kids in car seats. And the way this camera is angled is that you could actually see the face of the baby. If you can see right here, if there's a car seat here, you could see the face of the baby even if they're in a rear facing car seat, which is a big plus. So I don't know why it went back to daytime mode, but yeah, that's super awesome. Another thing is these entertainment screens. Now my minivan has two, one right there, one over there, so two separate screens. And there are some third row crossovers that have these, but they're usually luxury vehicles, and they're usually really expensive. And also minivans just had these for a lot longer time. The older ones usually had the ones that were mounted to the roof, but this has mounted on the back of the seats. And this was a real big help on those two big road trips that I previously mentioned, to and from Boise, Idaho, because this has three input or several inputs that you can use to get media on it. Right now it's playing a DVD that is placed at the that you put right there, so it could run off that DVD player. And right now they're running in tandem, but you could also select the sources independently, so they could run together, display the same thing, or they could run separate things. Also, they have an HDMI port right here that you could plug in a laptop to, or anything. You could probably run an Xbox or something in here as well. A USB, and then you could play like media if you have videos or something on a thumb drive. It could run off of that too. And also you could wirelessly share stuff from your phone screen. So if you have Netflix and that type of stuff on your phone, you could just stream it directly on here. So this was a huge benefit in our road trip when to keep our toddler occupied. So yeah, this was a big help. This is not specific to all minivans, but to my particular minivan, is that one of this minivan's party tricks, and I think it's something they patented, that's why it's only available in the Chrysler Pacifica, is the famous stow and go. So under here, so yeah, you have a bunch of storage, and I choose the wrong side to demonstrate because that's a bunch of stuff here. So we store a lot of like snacks and water bottles and like baby stuff for like emergencies and stuff like that when we're going on long trips. But if you need this whole area flat, fold this flat. Fold this thing flat into the floor, and then you could do that on both sides, and then you just have a whole just like deck of just like storing stuff, like I said earlier. And then there's one more thing that that you typically see among minivans, modern minivans by the way, that you don't see, and that is this stow and vac feature. So right here, that's a vacuum. Let me just show you that. That's a vacuum right here. You press that little button, and then you have a vacuum, and then they neatly stored a couple attachments right here and right here. Oops. And right here. And then so this comes in really handy when you have kids, like young kids. You could easily spray it down to make sure your new car or new minivan, or used, either one, stays pretty clean. That's something you typically see in most of the modern minivans. Most SUVs, three-wheel crossovers don't have that. So those are your 4 reasons why you should consider a minivan over a 3-row crossover. Thank you guys again for watching another episode of Review My Life, and I will see you guys on the next one. Catch you on the flip.